The following is a special presentation of the PDF Sports Network.
There we go. All right. So, tap everybody. It's easier to do it on that. Key players to watch for the spring. I like that. Harvey, who you got? Because I did have... I wanted to do that, but I think that show has to be in a couple weeks when I find out who's going where and maybe get some insider info on newbies that might be joining the ranks or people that have been doing other things and then are making a comeback during the course of this season. There's so many things, so many variables at play. I think it's a little too early to do that, especially with like first workouts and the teams that are usually working out first and doing their first mini camps or whatever. If you're doing mini camps for spring football in November, I'm not taking you serious. I think you're just trying to, I think you're just at that point just trying to beat everybody to it, pause. And just because you're first in terms of getting out and into a workout does not necessarily mean that dudes are going to actually... follow you. And it doesn't mean that you're going to have success. So the teams that open up first also have the threat of being the first ones to close up shop too. So it is a fine line, and I definitely, probably for next week, definitely want to talk about the benefits and the issues with opening up camp late. When's a good time to open up camp? How many practices do you really need in order to put yourself in the best position to be ready for the regular season? Definitely want to get into that probably next week in terms of what a training camp looks like. And I tried to get as much as I could training camp in a framework that was exciting for players, so it wasn't like a chore and okay, we got to do this type of thing. Get some t-shirts for the guys, get a logo up, training camp 2020, 2021, a cool logo up there, throw it on a t-shirt, give it to players so they could, say they participated in that. Ooh, okay, Harvey. Well, if you want to join, please, I definitely want to hear your list. So I'm going to go through my wish list for programs and football, and then I will absolutely give you the platform in order to share your key players to watch. If you are down, please let me know, and then I will patch you in. Good morning and Happy New Year to you, Coach, and everybody out there. So my wish list, we're going to start with, let's start with the football end of it, because I definitely talk more program on, I usually talk more program than I do specific football. Got it. I'll give you 10 minutes, no problem. I definitely talk more program-based than, the bells and whistles and the surrounding stuff more than I do the football end. Don't get it twisted, though, as you saw last year when we did a breakdown of the Big East and some of the games and matchups, and we did position by position, unit by unit. Your boy gets down. So, let's start with the football end of it. Five things football-wise that I want to see in 2026. And coming in at number 5, I want to see linebacker play. Linebacker play on the semi-pro level football. And if you disagree with me, please put in the comments. Fight me on it. I'm good with that. Nice. Fight me on that. That linebacker play in semi-pro nowadays is not good and not nearly what it was. I know there was a whole lot of, I don't even want to do the whole old head, new head thing or what it was versus what it is or whatever like that. Inadvertently, I'm doing that anyway. But you get what I'm saying. Linebacker play, debate me on this one, is weaker now, I think, on all levels of football, but especially in semi-pro. You're either a D lineman that needs to be on the line of scrimmage for whatever reason, or you have to be a defensive back or a safety that's playing in the pass set. There are very few, and Harvey, I'm going to give you this as the first assignment. If you don't have it on your list, then we'll table it till next week. Which players in semi-pro can play, but like at linebacker level, can play the pass just as effectively as the run? Drewski, you can tap into which player is balanced where you're like, oh God, he's really an every down player. Now keep in mind, every down player, you might be better than players that are just mediocre. And that's why you stay in on pass game and run situations. Okay, still got some hidden gems as a linebacker. But my focus is, and again, you might have this solution, downhill is going to fill and he's going to fill the gap. He's going to be a key run stopper from depth just as much as he's going to be able to get into a pass set, get into a pass drop, and be able to intercept the ball or play effective coverage in the pass game. Leaky Sanders. Oh, I like that. Okay, got it. I love that. Okay. I would agree with that. Leaky definitely is. Oh, yeah, Leaky. You know what? Leaky is that type of player. Okay. I like that. Do you still agree, though, that it is kind of a lost art and it is definitely not as prevalent on teams as what it used to be? But yes, you definitely brought up a very good point about Leaky. He absolutely does that. So linebacker play. I want to see linebackers that aren't on the line of scrimmage every single down that they're rushing the quarterback. I want to see a linebacker go from depth and actually make a play in the pass game when it comes to sacking the quarterback. I want to be able to say, that player is a sideline to sideline type of player, not just he gets the gap correct. Right? If a linebacker just shoots a gap and he happens to have the right gap and he cuts down the space, I'm barely a pro. Crow, I want you to chime in too, especially when it comes to the Southern teams. Do Southern teams have linebackers that can play both the pass game and the run game just as effectively? Earl, I think Frederick is more of I gotta say, against heavy run, Frederick is not as good. Pass situations, Frederick is better. He's capable. Cam, okay. I'd say Cam is closer to it. I think Frederick is a little lighter. I mean, he is a little older as well, but a little bit lighter, a little bit older. I think he's more pass heavy. I want to see something like somebody who's balanced that is just as effective in both. Again, you can say that I'm bugging. In fact, you can type in the comment, Patterson, you're bugging. There's linebackers everywhere that do that. I don't think there is. Am I the only one that's seeing that there is less or a shortage or whatever you want to call it? And that's my number 5. Things I would like to see in 2026. Number 4, special teams. Actual planning of special teams. So I actually can see some actual planning on special teams. That includes like design fake punts, design fake field goals. I'd like to see field goals, to tell you the truth, and extra points as part of the game. It does seem as though we could probably just invest a couple of minutes, a segment or two in practice to being able to kick an extra point or kick a field goal. But I think that adds an element to the game where we've seen very, very close games where the score, it's been a 2-point game and it's either touchdown or loss. And I think that having the just a thought that a field goal could be possible in that element would give this give us a little bit of excitement, no? Linebacker play. Okay, it's not just me. Linebacker play in this era is ass. I don't like the multiple banners on that hoodie. Uptown vibes. Nobody handle my uptown vibes stuff. Feel the button. Old school linebacker, definitely a higher focus. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Just say. And this is why, like, when you progressively debate when it comes to this football thing, who is an actual every down player. Like if you're playing competition on competition. Badness is because of spread. Okay, gotcha. If you're playing like competition versus competition, and it's two teams that are full squads, how many players in this thing are really every down linebackers or every down D linemen? Like really, you know, and you can get away with being it if you're playing against competition that's inferior, or your team doesn't have. There's such a drop off between your number one and your number two that you really have no other choice. Old school, I mean, didn't have to face or pass. Read option scheme. Gotcha. Okay, I like that. So maybe old school linebackers didn't really have a higher football IQ. They just were reading more basic stuff. Awesome. Yeah, I would like to see better specials. So specials like extra points, field goals, and not just out of the top tier teams usually snatch up the kicker pretty quickly. All the kickers that are out there, but you can teach somebody how to kick. It's possible. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it. And by the way, on the low, a lot of games get won, like the games that are super close, when you look back, get won or lost on field position. That field position usually starts with either a blocked punt or a miscue on a snap. By the way, you can even put in the comments which long snapper deserves recognition. And again, don't be scared to recognize somebody. That would be too. Which long snapper can get the ball to the punter every single time? I mean, we usually focus on the punter that can get the ball out. And even I struggled at the Nationals game because, of course, we only had 2 days to really get it together. And we had a punter, but we didn't have a long snapper that could get it there. So we had a disaster, which set up their first touchdown. And then from there, I just had my tight end, who is just that dude. He's like an all-around big shout out to Des, by the way, Desmond Chacon from I think he's from New Mexico. New Mexico or Utah? Utah. He's from Utah. Sorry about that. My man Shaq from New Mexico. Those are my the twins that I have for the Nationals team that are absolutely awesome, phenomenal players, by the way. I just put my best athlete at the quarterback position. He could kick the ball and I'd rather punt out of shotgun formation just to get the ball out than to risk the long snap. So, again, if you have a long snapper you want to give recognitions to, again, just because you're a center doesn't mean you can long snap, as we know very well. So I think that's an underrated position and underrated role in semi-pro as well, the long snapper. So, number 4 is special teams. Number 3, coaches at the podium. This is what I want to see. Now, I know that I said it's going to be football based, but this is kind of football based. And again, if you disagree with me, then let's argue and fight about it. I want to see coaches at the podium. I want to see coaches explain decisions. I want coaches to explain why you're going for it on 4th down in your own end in the first quarter. Why you're not punting the ball in certain situations. I want the decisions on why on earth you called, a triple reverse on the goal line when you had 3rd and goal. I want to know. It's okay. I'd like to know. It would be easier. Oh, Karan, there you go. There you go. It would be easier to have this type of, let's say, accountability. I think it's more entertainment than accountability. If we highlighted first which coaches are at the Glacier clinics. And if you look at the Glacier clinics, or if you look at the top clinics for coaches, which usually start up January, February, they finish up in March. When you look at which coaches are at those clinics, it's a direct correlation to which coaches have success, which coaches you will never hear. Again, no coach is perfect, don't get me wrong, but when it comes down to it, when you make a questionable call or you make a questionable decision, to be able to say, well, I put in the work for real and my work is well documented. Every time you hear about the Glacier clinics, some of our coaches from around the community have actually been presenters at Glacier clinics who have actually held clinics before and have taught other coaches. Some of our coaches, coach youth clinics and coach youth coaches on how to coach and the basic elements of coaching as well. But I think coaches at the podium is something that I would like to see this year. Again, I could be crazy. You could call me crazy. That's absolutely fine. But we've seen the lives with just bragging about belt to ass. We've seen the lives that explain how many players were not there. I want to know from the coaches how you coached up the players that were there. There's more lives about, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, there are more lives about in losses, for that matter. There are more lives pertaining to who didn't show up or who had, work, and who couldn't get out of work or whatever, than how we coached up the players that were on the field. I'd like to know what actually happened at the game. What's your input on these games announced? Orlando, Miami Bulls. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, so let me get through my list. I will definitely get there. Will you stick with me? I think we have. I'll take all the debates aside and the rankings aside, and just go into the actual matchups. Looking forward to seeing. Coach Crow is going to make his announcement relatively soon. Usually it's around this time. Usually this week, where the Sunshine Bowl matchup is announced. But we have Oklahoma City Bears and the Detroit Ravens. I think that it's not the best matchup when it comes to the rankings, but it is the best matchup motivation-wise to get both teams down to Florida, because Detroit Ravens, being the number one team kind of unanimously around the community, they have a huge motivation for this game, because I think the Oklahoma City Bears beat them last year. And aside from the one loss that they had this year, I think it was against Racine, the only other team to beat them was this team. So they've defeated the last team that beat them head-to-head. They beat them, and they beat them in the playoffs or beat them in the championship game. I don't think if Racine got to the championship game, but whatever. The last team before Racine that beat them was Oklahoma City. So that motivation of getting that get back, especially since it's so fresh in their memory, I think that gets them motivation to travel well, both teams to travel well. And out of these Florida games, what I really like to see are two teams that have 40-plus players apiece, and not, two 20-man teams that just have the uniform from some of these storied programs. So I like that matchup for the revenge element, 100%. I said I wouldn't talk about this now, but then I ended up talking about it now. And then Seminoles and Bombers. It's going to be a great game, great matchup. Very similar to when the Seminoles played the Shamrocks. Seminoles jumped out early, 21-0, and then Shamrocks came back, and then it was a heck of a game. I think that the Noles not being the clear favorite or the overwhelming favorite, although, again, everybody gives them their respect, I think they go into this one not taking anything for granted. I think the fact that they had to play an extra game in order to qualify for this also puts a chip on their shoulder. And to have a team that has been running things for 10, 12 years to actually be playing with a chip on their shoulder is a pretty interesting element to add. Motor City, best Detroit. Gotcha. Okay. So I think Motor City. So the last two teams. So Detroit ended up beating them after that, I believe. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that. But whatever it was, they're basically going back in their history, and the last teams to beat them, they're handling, those vendettas. I like that storyline as a football guy and as a competitor. So I get that. I'd rather beat the team that beat me, even if there's a team that's ranked higher than them. That shows that you're taking it personal. I like that element of it. So I think the Seminoles are better than the Bombers, but I think it's going to be a heck of a game. I have it as a 4.6 game in the Noles' favor. I think Detroit goes down and really handles things. Both teams travel full. There you go. And that's the other disappointing thing, is that the Bombers and the Seminoles could have played in Connecticut with both teams having 50 players. But again, that's the politics of it. Back to the football end of it. So I'm on my top 5 for you guys that are just tuning in. My top 5 wish list football related. My number 5 was better linebacker play, because linebacker play during this era has been trash. Number 4 is special teams. Number 3 is coaches at the podium explaining their decisions. Number 2, clock management. It goes, I guess, sort of along with the coaches at the podium. Clock management, the awareness, and the awareness being evident, is really starting to lack. Times in which a team is down by 2 scores and they're getting in a huddle. Times in which the half kind of runs out on teams and they're like taking a timeout into the half. I didn't say no good linebackers. Nope, CJ. No. CJ, the question was, and you could rewind it later to catch the full conversation, what linebacker is excellent both in the pass game and the run game? Clock management is a big problem. Oh my God, I've seen timeouts taken on the first drive. Like after the opening kickoff, you can't be taking timeout. Like that's not a time where you can take a timeout. You kind of need those. And the times in which coaches are taking timeouts, it shows that they don't have any inclination to try to score right before the half and to actually utilize. They don't have a plan for their timeouts. If you're taking a timeout in the second quarter, like with 10 minutes left in the second quarter, because you are avoiding, because you have 10 men on the field, especially on a play that may or may not matter. In fact, to tell you the truth, I'd rather just go ahead and either take the delay of game or just run the play with 10 people. Like, that's it. You just have to do it. And take a time out of the 2-minute warning. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Not knowing when the 2-minute warning is, not being able to sync up the 2-minute warning. There's just so much strategy in the game of football. Again, going back to coaches that are prepared and coaches that put the work in. And if the coaches are putting the work in, if they make a decision and you and I don't agree with it, it's a lot easier to it's a lot easier to combat. CJ, you definitely were that dude. See, CJ Murray was definitely a player that was just as effective getting from depth into the offensive backfield to either drop the running back for a tackle with a loss or to even get a sack. And CJ Murray was definitely in the secondary intercepting football. So absolutely, CJ Murray, yes, but he hasn't played in a long time because he's an old head. He's definitely an old head. So yes, clock management, 2-point conversion. Oh, taking timeouts on special teams. Oh my God, I've even seen a timeout taken on kickoff. On kickoff, that's tough for me to understand. Like, why are you taking timeouts then? That's wild. He said 3 years ago. That is not 3 years ago. That's at least COVID year. That's like 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Yeah, don't say 3 years ago. No way. I'm fact checking that one. Definitely not. So yes, special teams timeouts. Oh, by the way, taking a timeout after a change of possession, like, that's tough too. And most teams have offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators. They do. So if you have the ball punted to you, true story. If you get the ball punted to you and your offense goes out and now they're missing players and now you got to take a timeout because they can't get the play in on time before a delay of game, that's crazy for me. Like, you're taking the time. Like, what was your offensive coordinator doing? I'll tell you this. How many of you please don't say the names because then we're gonna have a fight on our hands. How many of y'all see offensive coordinators sitting there watching the game when their defense is on the field? Why are you watching the game? Why are you cheering on the team? You got work to do. You got to go over what just went wrong in the previous series, and you got to get your plays straight for the next series. Again, I was an offensive coordinator. I called the plays for the national team, and I forgot how much work that is. Because as a head coach, big credit to my staff, I had an offensive coordinator toward the later years. I didn't always have this. An offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator. And my defensive coordinator is cheering on the team on offense and whatever. What are you doing? Get the defense. The defense is on the bench over here. What? They should be sitting in the same area. Like, what are we doing? Coaching, like, not just this level. Gotcha. So it's good to know that it's happening in other places too. Like, that irks me. Like, what's your defense, like, your defense coordinator is sitting there cheering on the offense, and then when there's a turnover, now he doesn't have personnel? Like, come on. Like, okay, maybe it's just me. Number 1, football wish list for Coach Pat for the 2026 year. Highlights that are illegal. Stop showing me illegal highlights. Stop showing me highlights that didn't count. If you can make a big hit, great. Just make it legal. Like if it's a legal hit that flag didn't go, more power to you. It's a brutal game. It's a brutal game when you play it legally. But you not knowing the rules, and your coaches as well. God, most of my list is about coaches, go figure. Coaches that, oh, what was that? What was that? And you know fully well the hit was illegal. What can I tell you? Peel back blocks, crack back blocks, they're illegal. When you're blocking, and I tell players this when they come to me like, Pat, what do you think? I always say the same thing. I said, well, you were blocking in the direction of your own goal line. You weren't going forward. You were moving in a direction going backward. If you're moving in a direction going backward, you basically can just shield the guy, extend your hands, and throw a pick. Like a pick like you would in basketball. Just shield them, and that's it. That's not the time to boom somebody. Whether you like the rule or not, that's not the time to boom somebody. Now, if you're going towards the end zone, and a player is trying to make a play from the other team, and you level the shit out of them, okay, let's go. But if you don't have the ability to do that, then that's what it is. Those are the plays. I want to see legal, decleating, crippling blows. I mean, I need everybody to get to work on Monday, whatever. But if he's going to be laid out, cool. It should be because of a legal hit. No, stop. Because again, it is a very rough game. If you can't do it legally, so funny enough, another stat that I think should be posted along with your touchdowns and this and that, whatever, is penalty yards. Because personal fouls, like, you're giving up 15 yards at a clip, and you're not good enough to give up 15 yards at a clip. Nicely done. Keys, for some reason, just I don't know why. He just, like, literally signs up to get hit. But that's for another day. So that's my top 5 list. Football wish list for 2026. Number 5, better linebacker play. Number 4, special teams, actual planning. Number 3, coaches at the podium explaining their decisions that are questionable. Number 2, clock management awareness. Number 1, highlights that are legal. So that's my football list. Now, my program list, as you know, that's about, the culture of the sport or whatever. This is what I'm looking for in 2026. I can go through a little faceted on this one. Number 5, dubs on subs. When you're talking about somebody and you have to, like, talk about them and not mention their name, if you're not going to say their name, then just don't say anything. I'm sick of the subs because usually 3 or 4 people that you're not talking about end up responding, and then that turns into like a tangent argument about nothing because they pretty much outed themselves or whatever, which I guess would be partially the purpose of throwing subs. But if something goes wrong, let's assign blame to it. If something goes wrong and it's your man's, it's still my man's, but you were wrong. Like, if you can't tell your man's, or you can't tell people that your man's was wrong, I don't know what part of society we're in at this particular point where you can't be like, yeah, he's my dude, but he's wrong. That's what it is. No more Illuminati talk. Like the transparency, like, it's got to be there. And leagues need to be transparent about how decisions are made. And in fact, part of me being media would be, I'll get some, and you've seen me, by the way, get an executive, owner, or whoever you want to call it, up on the show and, hey, can you explain this? And, my questions are usually respectful, but very direct and accountable or what have you. So no more Illuminati talk, gatekeepers or the other, or the people that control, like that type of stuff. Just say names, and then we can find out whether that person is responsible. My name comes up a lot, for example, and especially in certain situations. Oh, Pat did this or Pat did that. I'll tell you exactly what Pat did and exactly what Pat did not do. Pat was not in a single Big East meeting after. I was in one conference call where I literally gave my opinion on a few things, and then after that, literally, I was not in any meeting, and it wasn't even like a full, it was a conference call. It was a conference call. I said, hey, in fact, I think the whole content of what I said in that meeting, and I might be mistaking it from the year before, I'm getting old, was literally, whatever you guys got to do, make it transparent, do it in front of everybody, otherwise people are going to get paranoid and do the Illuminati talk. So just have your process and have your bylaws and have your rules. Anybody knows me knows that this is what I say all the time. Have your processes, have your rules, have everything be a matter of public information. And that way, ultimately, if they disagree with you, then it's your resume versus their resume. But if it's shrouded in this doubt in what you really meant or whatever, then it's going to end up getting funky. So, yeah, no more Illuminati talk, no more dubs on the subs. Number 4, uniforms. Please don't pretend like your uniform guy is to blame. Please stop blaming your uniform guy because you ordered uniforms from Kazakhstan like a week ago when you thought that they could get made and produced from Kazakhstan a week ago, and you still haven't even paid them the balance because you paid like a deposit and then this and that, whatever. Please stop blaming your uniform supplier. You need to order uniforms 4 weeks in advance. I would even say 4 weeks in advance if you are getting your uniforms, which most don't. If you're getting your uniforms within the United States of America, I would give it 3 weeks, really 3 weeks. But the rule of thumb, 4 weeks. 4 weeks, and pay up front. Now, here's the thing. Some of you guys would gasp, like, pay up front? Why would I pay up front? Because if you continuously do business with these people, then it shouldn't be an issue. If you are not sent things because you aren't paid in full, it means that you have very bad credit. Like, my supplier, if I'm doing, let's say, $70,000 worth of business, if I owe them uniforms, what costs, let's say, $1,500, $1,200 for a set of jerseys or something like that. If I owe them $1,200, they're not sweating it because I'm a $70,000 account. So I can, and I don't. I could, but I don't. If you're doing chump change and you're expecting to be sent your stuff and you're not paid in full, wire transfers, Western Union, all the other things. A bunch of things can go wrong, by the way. So many things can go wrong. So if you order 4 weeks in advance, if something goes wrong, you are still getting your stuff like the weekend or like the Monday before you kick off. So stop blaming your uniform guy. It's nonsense. Also, some of you guys wait so long that your uniforms aren't even there for like 2 weeks. And for some of you play like a 6-game schedule. It's a third of your season. So what was the purpose of getting the uniforms in the first place? I mean, whatever. Another good practice, just keep one set of uniforms as a house set in case of emergency. It may not be a good looking set like the Gators and Hawkeyes. That game still haunts me, by the way. It should cost me a lot of money too. But nonetheless. Number 3, my wish list, program-wise. Notice Give me a schedule that's posted. Give me game flyers by Monday, 6 p.m. I'm not going to go into this because we went into this all year last year. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. It's Thursday, Friday. I don't know where your game is. I don't know when your game is. Your game could be home. It could be away. On hosted, it doesn't even really say who's home and who's away. Whatever it is. The leagues need to advertise for the teams. It's forget that's what you're paying for. I don't even go into the math of it or whatever. It's just, come on. I'm moving on. Number 2, I want to see creativity. Give me something creative out of some of these programs, especially if you're not necessarily contending for the championship. Give me something creative. Give me mic'd up. I like the mic'd up stuff. Give me the GoPro on the uniform or on the helmet. Give me the glasses or whatever. Give me those type of camera angles. Give me something to get my mind off of you not winning the football game. And this is where I disagree with Skip, and I actually agreed with Molly on it, is that whether you win or lose, I think that we spend so much money on media, it should be out there for everybody to enjoy. I don't care if you won the game or lost the game. If it's a cool camera angle, a very cool play, it's dope. I'm good with it. So this dude's going backwards at like 40 down my block. That's crazy. This dude's retarded. Okay, so no less. I want to see personalities. You know, let's get some. I mean, some of y'all need to learn how to speak a little bit more, you know, appropriately. But you know, let's do something where we can find out who these people are. Like the personalities on some of these young folks are absolutely awesome. Like getting to, and it's funny because some of the people I don't even really get to know personality wise until they like, you know, blow up, and they come to the Bleezy show, and all of a sudden they're at the mansion and having a conversation with them. They're like, oh, this is a really, really cool dude and a very, you know, dynamic individual. Why is it that I have to get to this point to know who you are? How come your program is not bragging about who you are? And that's not just the football end of it. I think some more like, you know, Hard Knocks type stuff. Shout out to the Bronx Colts. Coach Black did the Hard Knocks thing. If you ever get a chance to see it, I'll post it on here. They did an awesome documentary Hard Knocks with great camera footage. And this was like 2015, 2014. So ahead of their time, but you know, standard is the standard. And number 1, wish list for program-wise. And we definitely hit it this year more than last year. No optional football. Continue this trend. Please play football. And for the schedule maker, let's not just make a schedule for the sake of making a schedule. Can we think this out, please? If you know preseason, like you should have a preseason ranking where you're anticipating where the teams are going to fall on the standings. And you know there's certain things about this level of football that are going to make teams have a tougher go at it or an easier go at it. And if you schedule the worst team in your league, or the developing team, the startup team in your league, against the defending champs week 1, the runner-up week 2, the number 3 team, and you know that they're going to get clapped by 40 and 50 points for those first couple weeks, change the schedule. Let them get going. Spread like you're going. Bring back. Oh, stat tracking. That's a good idea. You got to sit here and think about this. Like you should sit back when you're making the schedule, and after you make the first draft of the schedule, because you should be making multiple drafts, you should put yourself as a, I hate to say, a weak-minded player on every team, and what a weak-minded player would think from week to week. If you're on, okay, so week 1, okay, we're a startup team. We got our new uniforms. We're playing at this really cool venue. Okay, cool. Who we playing? The defending champs. Oh, golly, we get beat 50-0 because we know that team is not going to show mercy on nobody. Got it. Okay, so week 2, we got a shot at this thing, so we got to rebound quick. You know, people are making fun of us because we got that 50 spot. You know, boom. Week 2, we got the runner-up. And the runner-up is now trying, now the runner-up is playing against us, and then the following week, they have, the champion game, so they're going to really try to get right for the rematch of the championship. So now they put a beating on you too. Okay, so now I'm in week 3. Week 3, you give them a bye to think about the 2 beatings that they just took. So really their bye week is another loss. You guys don't think about stuff like that. Their bye week is another loss. And there's been so many times you can tell anybody that has spoken to me, because we have these conversations, especially me and Kadeem and the Bleezy guys, about, fold watch and which teams could possibly fold or whatever. Cater to. Interesting. If you don't cater to the weak-minded players, you're going to have weekends with no football. So what would you rather have? I get what you're saying. But ultimately, the same people that will sit there and make that comment are the same people that be like, oh, this is whack. We don't got no games this weekend. Well, I wonder why. Now, keep in mind, college football does this as well. College football, there's cupcakes on Alabama's schedule. There's cupcakes on teams' schedule. Like in college basketball, just the same. College basketball, the teams dictate their non-conference games, right? And they're going to schedule those games where they know that they're going to win to kind of get them from point to point. Like, oh, damn, we got the defending champions of our conference. We have to play them, and we have to play them November 15th. Well, let's get 2 games against some cupcakes. Let's get November 12th and November 10th. Let's beat the bejesus out of the Little Sisters of the Poor or whatever. And after we beat, we at least have some confidence that we're playing good ball. And even if we take the L against the conference champion, we lost 1 out of the last. We're still 2 out of 3. It's too much. Okay, now here's the thing. On every level, it's like that. So what are you left with? With incentives. Interesting. No, they don't, though. College football does not have that many teams. No. And that's if you include FCS and FBS. No, definitely not. And they don't have that many open dates because their conferences demand that they play whatever it is, like 8 conference games or 9 conference games. So again, the decision is yours. You can sit there and go, oh, well, let's make everybody be tough. And then you're sitting there looking around and that's it. Now keep in mind, when you talk about weak-minded people, there's been debates on if weak-minded people have just left teams to go to great teams, championship teams, and does that make them all of a sudden not weak-minded? No, they're weak-minded people on the best teams in the league. But it's a bad business strategy if you are a league owner, if you're league ownership, your customers are not the players. And I can't say this enough. If you're a league owner, your customer is not the players. Your customer is the team owners. If you're a player, you are not a customer of the league. The league has to keep teams comfortable. The league has to keep teams in business. The teams, their customers are the players. The teams have to keep their players happy one way or another. So if we were in a situation where the players were employees of the league, similar to the NFL, for example, then that'd be valid because you have a shot at going to another team. Yeah, there's rules and structures in place that you can go to another team. And there's rules and structures that if you do stay at the team that you're at, that they have all of the tools in place for that team to get better. That's not the case in semi-pro. In semi-pro, in order to get better, it is 100% on the team. Let me say that again. In semi-pro, it is 100% on the team to get better. And the least a league can do, being that the team is their customer, is to do basic things, common sense things, in order to get them in the best position to compete. Now, I'm not saying, again, and I've done schedules plenty of times before, what benefit is it to anybody? I never started at 11. What benefit is it to anybody for the last place team that everybody knows is going to last, the team that everybody knows is going to finish first? What is the benefit to that if teams don't play everybody?
Early mornings with Pat and Chop, man.
Hey, how you doing?
I like the ring of that. I like the ring of that.
How's everything?
Top of the morning, King. How you doing?
Man, just living the dream, man. Just living the
Right.
dream.
I like what you do every morning though. You heard I had to come chime in because I like some of the takes you were saying today. You heard?
It looks like you have notes next to you.
Yeah. No, not notes. Roll up, roll up, roll up.
Okay, gotcha. Well, for some, roll up is the same thing as notes.
Yeah.
It helps. It helps you focus. So for the young
Right.
man, I'm forgetting the gentleman's name who was on the live with Kadeem the other day. That I know that Randy lost his patience with you. And you guys got kicked off the live. But if you just have some notes, you can get to your point quick. Or if you
Yeah.
got some roll up, you can get that focus. You could get to your point quick, and that way dudes don't throw you on the hot seat.
Right. Right. Right.
So
Yo,
what you
Pat,
got?
you had some interesting topics earlier. You feel me? I want to chime on. Um, I do feel like linebacker play is dead in today's era. Even all levels, high school, NFL, and even semi-pro. But you also have hidden gems. You feel me? Like you got hidden gems. Like I ain't gonna lie, Leaky. Like everybody, like I don't know, niggas just sleep on Leaky, bro. Like my son go both ways, and he really dominates the ball. You feel me? He a pass stopper, he a run stopper. You feel me? He dominates both. Even the kid from the nose, what's his name? The Hall kid. He's good too. You feel me?
Mhm.
But
Yes, D Hall does.
overall, throughout like 8 teams in the league, you probably have no funny shit like 3 good teams with decent good linebackers. You feel me? Like so,
Yeah,
I say like
it seems
linebacker
like
play is bad.
the default defensive moves is to get defensive ends who weigh about 105 pounds.
Ex receivers. That's what you
Ex
got to say.
receivers weigh
Ex
105 pounds.
receivers.
And then take everybody else who might have been like a really light linebacker and move them to safety.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's it.
But
So for
that's coaching not being able to coach or players not being able to be coachable. You get what I'm saying?
well, yeah. Well, here's the thing: if you don't have the personnel and you really don't truly have, because it was very hard in a 4-3 to have a true Mike Backer. Like you needed to have some, like you had to have a dude with IEP and like was eating crayons and chewing on the sides of walls with lead paint to play middle linebacker in a 4-3 back in the day, right?
Yeah.
You don't have that, okay, got it. But at least your defense has to make sense. So if you're going to go with another framework in terms of your defense, it can't be the same 4-3, but now my linebackers are blitzing at every down, or like out of my three backers, my middle linebacker is basically just a fifth lineman, and then the other two are just glorified safeties. It's got to be more than that.
Yeah, then that comes into the coaching now. You feel me? That's like now you gotta figure out what you gotta do in order for you feel me? Because now you gonna have teams that's just gonna kill that. You feel me? They gonna see that you blitzing every time. They gonna kill you on straight short passes and shit like that because you got the outside linebackers moving like they fake safeties. You feel me? So shit
Right.
like that, I don't know. You feel me? But like I said, you do got some hidden gems at linebacker. You feel me? Not just Leaky because that's my guy, but you feel me? Even the Wayne kid, the dude that played on the Eagles,
Right.
that dude is a monster. You feel me?
Now,
I ain't
now
gonna lie to you.
Felix in the comments brings up a good point. He says, "Sounds like you don't have good tackles." Now, here's the thing: you
Shit.
could have you can have good tackles, but
Whoa.
nobody has a 3-4. No, like, correct me if I'm wrong. Since Wendell, I'm trying to think of anybody else. You can put the names in the comments. Who is a true 3-4 like tackle? Like,
You talking
no,
about nose tackle
like a nose. Yeah,
or
there are
three tech D tackle?
none,
Ain't no true nose tackles no more.
none. They know those.
That's another dead scheme right there. Like we don't got no true. You got dudes that play tackle, but they don't know the what's the word? They don't know how to like really like set the gap, like really control the line from the nose tackle position. So no, I don't think it's. no nose tackle, but you do
Right.
have
So
one
so if
techs
it's
and three techs that help like make plays. Like my linebackers love playing behind me. You feel me? Because I know
right,
the assignment no more. I'm not just here to make plays. If I'm gonna make a play, I'm gonna make a play. But
right.
if I know I could get double team and my linebackers can come and just straight wild out, I'm good on that. You feel me? I'm
So
good on that.
Andre Lyons says his guy K Jones is a top linebacker. What team does K Jones play on?
But
Yeah,
you know who's making a good vote for good for that nose tack, Kamari Jones Burger. That
okay,
boy's a
gotcha.
monster. From the
Yeah,
nose,
he's
that
definitely
boy's a monster, boy.
All
I
right.
ain't
So
gonna
now
lie.
so now I got my notes out. Okay, Felix and who's the other ones chiming in? I got my notes out. You giving me names, and and that's gonna be my player watch list. I got some homework to do. Respect, got that. See, you see how productive this thing is. So
No,
now here's
not
the
no
thing.
D tech in the 3-4. I'm saying there's no D tackles that's playing the good nose tackle part. So you will have a three tech tackle or one tech tackle that will help linebackers do what they gotta do. You feel me? Like in today's era,
oh
D
god.
tackles not really making plays like that no more. You feel me? Like we just did just to help niggas out. You feel me? But
Right.
you
Now
have a
here's
select few that's beastie that's gonna make the play regardless.
oh
You
now
feel
here's
me?
the thing. So Noble just said something, right?
Interior linemen suck. Now, whoa. Now here's the thing.
You
This
can't
is
say they
exact.
suck if you're a receiver
Now
playing
nah, see
This
DM
is
going to D tackle. You can't say
this
that,
was
bro.
this was my point on the other live.
is that when you play so much ISO game, right? It's just like in basketball. You could be a legend at one-on-one basketball. It doesn't mean that you would be a good NBA player
Right,
at all,
right.
right? Because you part of your legacy and part of who you are as a player, especially in basketball, is you making your teammates better and how you worked in the framework of the offense and defense, by the way, right? So when it comes to defensive end, and this is what I was telling you, Noble, is that if you're talking about your play in isolation 99% of the time, right? Then you're kind of cheating yourself because your job can be that much easier if you have an effective linebacker directly behind you, and if you have a effective tackle
And,
directly
and
to your
and
left or right.
9 times out of 10, my fault for cutting you off. 9 times out of 10, DNs is only going against one niggas, bro. You feel me? It's really a one-on-one. It's not no. You're not getting double team like that unless you got a running back. But then you better not get blocked by no fucking running back. You feel
Now
me?
hold on. Say that
Part
part.
again.
Damn, I forgot.
You 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 said you said that your game as a defensive end is one on one.
Yeah,
To me that's bad coaching, because if you scheme it, you can make your defensive end at least a two gap player
that's
minimum,
why. That's why I'm not a coach.
right? You should be able to make your defensive end a three gap player, right? So if your player is literally playing ISO ball the whole time, that's the coaching. That's
Yeah,
coaching.
yeah.
So you can't say that it's the tackles that are whack, because ultimately they could say the same thing about you, which is because the dude at defensive end used to be 260 pounds, 280 pounds, and now it's 160 pounds. That puts more stress on me as a tackle,
Facts,
right?
facts.
It's like the chicken and the egg conversation. So we don't have a 3-4. I tried to add you one. It's saying that it's adding right now. Um, the fact that we have no 3-4 tackles. Okay, got it. So now you can't run a 3-4, even if you pretend that you run a 3-4, you don't,
Right.
because you have to put a second dude there. So now you go from a 3-4 to a 4-3. Got it. But now your 4-3, which used to have minimum 250, 260 across the board, you usually, if you're one of the better teams, 270, 280, right? And then toward the interior, you get more toward 300, 325. But now the ends are lighter, and you're going to act like that's not going to put stress on the rest of
Told you,
the.
X receivers, bro. That's what's going on.
Like, come on.
That's what's going on. They put X receivers on the D line. Go get a sack. I'm telling you, bro.
Right. So whose fault is that? Like you can't.
create
Yeah,
You can't create a nose. You can't
Yeah,
create a
bro.
nose.
Unless unless he already is a D tackle that's aggressive as shit, and he's coachable, that he knows this is the assignment, this is what to do. You feel me? But other than that, I don't think we got that in semi-pro. We don't got no nose tackle, and we don't got good linebacker plays. If you get what I'm saying, like
Right. But I
yeah,
don't think it's necessarily their fault.
Fault, because who would want to play linebacker if one? I sent you. Who would want to play that position when the dude in front of you is is like 50 pounds?
yeah,
It used to be about gap control, right? It used to be about how much space that you can take up. Now, even if you're killing as a defensive end, how much space are you taking up?
right.
Oh, this dude came on with
Giant stuff, like they're not like, oh my god.
My
Yo,
son Noble, yo, bro, I'm tired of niggas comparing my son Noble to niggas too. My son Noble dead nice, you
the
heard?
Giants playing. They playing the Cowboys. I'm about to be lit. Yo,
I
but
ain't gonna lie, the Cowboys about to whip that ass, boy.
Sure
I'm
enough.
about to be lit at the game. But look, check this out, right? What's up? What's up? I was saying, right? Hold on, let me go in here. Wait, let me find a quiet room. I'm gonna go in the bathroom. I could. Sorry, I'm in the mansion right now. I had to come make sure the house good. But look, check this out, right? I was trying to say that the old linemen, like the interior old linemen, kind of suck in semi-pro. You know how I know that? Because to be honest with you, in semi-pro, playing D tackle is actually better. It's easier than playing defensive end sometimes. I
Hell
just
no.
throw a
Hell no.
nigga.
We're not
But
gonna do
look,
that.
No, no,
Harvey. But
explain, no,
look,
no, explain this. Explain
All right,
this.
you gonna
Yeah.
yeah, well, you
now look,
all right.
Harvey. Look, Harvey, you great in this shit. Like, word of my mom. If you was to tell me to come play for a new team, I would consider it because I know I got a D tackle that's gonna force it to me, and I got a D tackle that I can force the rep to. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I
right.
just feel like interior old linemen, right, are scarce. You know what I'm saying? Or scarce. Did I pronounce it right?
Yes, yeah, yeah. Hmm.
Scarce. And that's just what I see based on the teams that I play. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all keep saying, look, this how I know. Y'all said number 55 was nice, right?
Hmm.
On the nose, right?
Right.
The D
I
tackle?
went to guard and I pancaked that nigga 2 times.
Hell no,
So
bro.
he looked like a superstar. Yo, Harvey, on my kids, I can send you the film. He looked
Okay.
like a superstar, but I could pancake a dude like that. I'm only 6'3", 225. I
But
shouldn't be
you're still, but
pancaking
hold on,
dude.
you're still talking about.
about ISO game. Like you're talking about one on ones. This is not one on ones. It's like you sound like the receivers that cook in 7-on-7s, but then when you get into actual game, they can't freaking get open and can't find the
But if
freaking
we in the
football.
game, but I'm talking to you about real game stuff. If the
What? But no,
coach
no.
tell me the
You're
down
talking.
block and
You're
I down
talking to me
block a dude and
about.
pancake him,
You're talking to me about ISO ball, which means that
Yes,
yes,
you might have pancaked him, but ultimately this: if I'm the tackle next to you and you're playing your game against the tackle, the guard I have to deal with, and the center I also have to
Have to
usually
deal
deal
with.
with.
And it
Now,
depends what tech you line up on too. You
if
feel
if
me?
I had a defensive end,
that was less ISO and more had to get the tackle's attention and the guard's attention, then I could cook more. But you can't tell me I'm not as good.
but Pat,
Oh,
I'm gonna keep
but no, you
yo
can't
Juan,
tell
and you a
me.
good
hold on,
coach.
you can't
Go ahead,
tell
go
me
ahead.
I'm not as good when I'm getting.
Twice as much
Now
attention
I want to keep listening.
because of the way that you're playing.
Now look, now watch this. A DN job, D tackle's job. You're wrong here. A D tackle in black. I see you in the comments. A D tackle's job is to take on the blocks and open it up for other players. D tackles are not supposed to really make a lot of plays. And you teach that. I played real bull before. The D tackle not supposed to be making all the plays and getting sacks. D tackles open up lanes for
Take up
linebackers.
space. Yeah,
Yeah, we
take up
supposed to.
space.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So you can't
yeah.
say that a DN has to open it up for the D tackle because in reality, the
Yo,
D
Warren,
tackle
niggas
has to
can't hear
open
you,
up for
bro.
the ends and the linebackers. Right or wrong?
No, what I'm saying is that if a tackle is supposed to occupy space.
Hear me? If a tackle's supposed to occupy,
Occupy space,
And protect the
then
QB blind side.
then here's the thing: I can occupy all this space, but if I have
somebody who crashed me down and shrink.
my ability to take up two gaps, possibly even a third gap, then it's because the person next to me is not commanding any attention whatsoever. And keep in mind that's taking away from the fact that it used to be a tight end there, and the tight end would at least have to
Chip on somebody. But if you have a tight
in
end,
there, and you're dealing with a tight end and a tackle. How many plays are you gonna make?
Yeah, I see what you're
right?
saying.
So now
Um,
not only does the offensive coordinator not have to deal with you in terms of having a tight end and a tackle combo you, I have my guard and I have my guard free one on one with the defensive tackle, and if he gets overwhelmed, I can
The
have the
center.
center help out. So
Shit's crazy, man.
so if you're one on one, like I get it that you're gonna eat sometimes, but there's other times where you're gonna cause somebody else to get doubled.
Yo, you want to hear some shit? Real nigga shit? Yo, y'all want to know why we really, truly lost to the nose by 2 points? Because they made that adjustment at center, bro. They put the George kid at center, bro. The first 2 games, we was killing Tubby, was killing 8 guards and
that's
stuff.
what
You
I'm
feel
trying
me?
to say. Like,
They
for instance,
adjusted their center, bro, and it was over from there. You
yo,
got
Harvey.
kept breaking up,
Okay.
breaking out for 10+ rushing yards and shit like that. You feel me? That was
Yo,
the like the game changer. You feel me?
all right,
Yes,
go ahead. Like for instance, Harvey, keep it a being when you're going against guys like Emery and like Tubby, it's a little Tubby uses his brain, so I'm not trying to
Yeah,
insult
Tubby's
Tubby.
smart. Tubby not no dumb
Tubby's
player.
smart, but like that's free rec right there. You know what I'm saying? And that's on the best team in semi-pro. Their interior linemen suck.
right. But here's
Yeah,
the
but
thing,
then you got a nigga like George who play. You feel me? He could play everything on it. You feel
But
me?
yo,
The
I
guy,
gotta go, y'all. This was a
like
good
you feel
Sunday.
me?
Good shit, Pat. I'm out of here.
For
yes,
example, like yeah, everybody like niggas is free rec, but then you got niggas that's not free rec. You feel me? Like the
right.
George kid,
But
that
there's
nigga is nice. You feel me? At center,
some times where okay, so scheme matters as Black says. Sometimes the scheme is to chase everything from inside out, and I do see that there are some coaches, some defensive coordinators that want the middle to basically fill, and then everything to spill out to the edge. Some coaches, like myself,
yeah, we did
want
get
one
out coached. My fault.
right.
We did get out coached. Facts.
Yeah, I want to get everything to the middle of the field. I want to funnel everything to my Mike backer. I don't want to be chasing on sidelines. I want everything to the middle of the field. So like I can't say that one way is the correct way, one way is not the correct way. But I do know if I have their playmaker on defense in a one-on-one situation the whole game, I like this. Okay, I'll if he makes a play, he makes a play. But ultimately, if a majority of the snaps, I only have to dedicate one player to him, that to me is not conducive to being the best player on the defense.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, think about
Yeah.
how think about how we define who's the best cover guy on a defense. What does the best secondary player do?
Shit. How about motherfucker? Well,
To me, again, correct me if I'm wrong. He does one of two things. He either shuts down, he takes their best receiver out. So I take my one and their one, and we neutralize ones, and we're playing with the other 10 players on the field.
right.
Or in better case scenarios, if we're doing like zone, he takes away half of the field. It don't matter who's over there, he's taking away that half of the field. Technically, it usually happens more on the college level or the high school level. They control that area. You're not throwing to this side, right or wrong.
Right. That's
Got it.
unfair though.
Now, that's even better because ultimately now, how many I've dedicated one player to neutralize more than one of their players. Correct me if I'm wrong.
And you talking about as a defensive tackle player? Or you
As a
talking about
secondary player, as a
the second?
corner or
Yeah.
a safety that locks down half of the field,
Yeah.
right? So anybody that comes into their zone gets neutralized. So if you have literally shut down a area of the field, you've shut down anybody that goes into that area. So your one has shut down multiple of your opponent, right? What Noble's been saying is that his he's the best player on the defense. Got it. But they only have to dedicate one person to you.
And that's a tackle, which
That's
is
a
for me.
problem.
They dedicating the center and the guard. No, I get what you're saying. I
There
get
you
what you're
go.
saying.
So just by the fact, even if you beat my tackle 3 or 4 times, right? And Noble, you can tell me in the comments how many times are you getting by Give me sacks and pressures. How many sacks and how many pressures would you consider you having a good game? What do you think that would be? Give me that number, Hard.
But Noble, I ain't gonna lie. I seen Noble give niggas hell. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna lie. Even at the D tackle position,
Okay.
Gotcha. So
say
how
he
many?
gonna give them hell all game, all game. You feel me? Because that's just Noble. He got that motor. It's only
He does.
it's certain select few players that got that motor. Him, Enrique. You feel me? It's just select few players. You feel me? So I feel like
Mhm.
he gonna be QB pressure all the time. You feel me? Unless you feel me, it's a dog in front of him, and then he can't really, you feel me, or unless they put a tight end there. Like when we
Okay.
played the Green Wave when I was on the Ducks, that's what Ron would do. Ron would put me at the tight end, chip off on, don't give no boy easy release. Cause he
Hey,
know our offensive tackle can't block him on. He too fast or he's lining up wide nine. You get what I'm saying?
right.
Indeed. So of course people want to. I love that Willie said that. I'd rather pressure from the outside than the interior. Yeah, because the interior
Yeah.
is the pit, and there's a lot of
That shit
nasty.
close up fast.
There's some
Yeah.
nasty stuff going on in there.
And by the
Facts.
way, I'm sorry. Thank you, Willie.
You just changed my list. You
Who,
literally you
who's this
just.
Willie kid? Oh yeah, that's something from the,
I think he's
I
a New
don't know who
England guy.
that is.
I need
Oh,
to
okay,
change my
okay.
list.
Number one football. Hit the ground. This is my pet peeve.
You got
How
later?
many?
On our level of football, how many times do you see not a soul fall on the ground? Not a soul. All 22 from the start of the play to the end of the play are on their feet. The pit used to be bodies piling up. I mean, I get it. Respect. Y'all don't want
Unless
knees.
you play the Wolfpacks and you got Sean having all five his linemen straight chop you. That's the
Yeah,
only way we're gonna get that. You heard? How
and
you
good
doing? Happy New Year's.
and dudes get in their feelings
When Sean
Facts.
does that.
Hell no, I be laughing. I be weak, bro. I be like,
Like,
oh
that's
yeah.
not
like that's not football. How dare you want to talk about?
weak stuff. Oh, respect. Lockport Wildcats. Nice. Upstate dude. So, like, how many times do I see offensive line? I'm like, how are we running the ball and not a single offensive lineman ends up on the ground?
uh,
Like, even if
uh.
you,
And then,
God,
you know, this is a pet peeve of mine too with offensive linemen. The backpedaling, bro. The backpedaling off they line, bro.
You kick
That's
you
why I
kick
be killing niggas, bro, because I see it.
you
I already
kick
see
stepping
it.
on dive.
Yeah, bro. Niggas is crazy.
you kick stepping on dive.
Oh my god!
You kick
That
stepping
that
on
that
dive.
that shit kills me, bro. I see shit like that. I'm gonna kill him all day, every day. Every time we play them, I'm gonna line up on him. I'm gonna keep doing that.
Right. So, like, to me, especially since you have again, maybe it's because I've played against West Point. Like uh, them dudes get on angles and they hit the floor. They cause a pileup because if I miss my block, at least my body is in a position where you have
Right? You
to
could trip up the
hurdle.
defender.
You gotta do something other than get afraid. I see on dive a kick step and hands either here watching my running back in the backfield get tackled or hands on the hips like damn, I wonder how that happened. And meanwhile, like you still on your feet. Come on.
You know what happened, bro? They be lazy, bro. You got niggas.
Ah,
They lazy, bro.
falling on the ground is lazy. I
No, I'm
don't know.
saying
I
like
with
them causing a mashup, them trying to fall on the ground is them being lazy. Like they don't want to do that. They just want to stand. You get what I'm saying? Like
To me, that's a
they don't.
business decision, man.
Shit.
the
If I
business
know
decision.
I'm gonna miss a block or I can't get to that person, I'm a cheater. I'm gonna trip him. I'm gonna
Right,
hold him on some cheating shit. You feel me? I'm a cheater, bro. I don't care.
Right. Lineman with back plates. Oh, it's so true. Comes out of coaching. How many teams? Position coaches. That's a good point, Felix. How many teams actually have position coaches? And that
So
would be the point where you would ask your offensive line coach, yo, what is going on in the trenches where we're playing at Kings Bay and
a
you're
lot of these
uni-
teams don't have offensive line coach. Let's say that too.
that's
A
true.
lot of
That's
these
true.
teams don't have offensive line coach. They rely on their OC to do what they got to help them out. You feel me? So
And meanwhile, in
and
practice,
by the way, this goes back to practice, right? How many teams will sit there and say that they don't have linemen in practice? Well, the reason why they don't
Facts.
have linemen in practice because they have nobody coaching them or teaching them in practice. So
Facts. They just did. Yeah.
if there's no value in it, and I had this myself, like I think it was like 2-3 years ago. Coach, hey coach, we're struggling. Like we can't get these linemen to practice. I'm like, well, what the hell are you doing with them in practice? What are you asking them to come for? Like you want to do 7-on-7? The last year I was coaching, I cursed out 7-on-7. I think there was one time I got to practice late. And now keep in mind, I send out the practice plan, I send out the segments, they're very clearly defined, and somebody panicked and they went 7-on-7. And I and I walked in, I'm like, yo, what the hell is this?
Because a
Y'all
lot
just
of
doing
people
what
don't
y'all
have that
want to do.
mentality. They don't
I'm
have
like,
that
what do you,
boss mentality. You feel me?
yeah,
They don't have that. Oh, I'm gonna take over. Oh yeah, the Coach Pat not here, or he's running late. They don't have that mentality. Oh yeah, I'm gonna run the practice. They don't have that mentality. You feel me?
right.
A
So
lot of
easiest thing to do if you want to pretend to coach football, 7-on-7. 7-on-7.
no, these coaches and owners got to separate friendships from football. Like you a coach, I'm the player, and we're gonna keep it like that. You feel me? You're gonna coach, and that's it.
Everything, every single segment in my practice plan. Why are we doing this, coach? And I can tell
Thank
you,
you.
this is why we're doing this. This is why we're doing that. This is why we're doing this. Why are we doing 7-on-7? And do you really expect? And some of y'all practice and do nothing but 7-on-7. Don't think I don't peep. Don't think I don't peep. Right? If you're doing 7-on-7 for the whole entire practice, why are your linemen there?
Uh,
Why would your linemen show up?
but this is why I also respect like leaders. You feel me? Like for example, right? We didn't have on the Pharaohs. We didn't have no lineman coach, or we did. I don't know. But you had dudes like Wes Snow taking over, teaching the younger guys that's there. You feel me? The little the scheme, the plan. You feel me? The shit
If
like
you if
that. So
and that's a good backup plan if you have players that are knowledgeable that are technically trained in what offensive line work looks like.
right,
But if you don't, if you have all linemen that are fresh out or not college type level players, then what are you doing?
wasting time.
They're just grazing. So you want them to you just want them to show up to graze, just to be there.
Basically,
That's crazy. Oh, Tez, I love the fact that you said that. Sometimes that's all you have enough for 7-on-7. Here's the funny thing. This is the football version of the chicken and the egg, thing, right? The reason why you only have enough is because you didn't make practice exciting enough. Oftentimes we don't think for a second, what did the last practice look like? What did the practice before that look like? Whatever group had the most fun is going to have the more players in practice the next time. That's how it works. And keep in mind, I had 50-man practices for a whole entire season.
that's amazing. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah. But
That's amazing.
But it was because and it was the best because all of our position coaches, I was freed up to literally look the whole entire time and say, "Hey, we're going 2 hours. These are the segments. If I see you doing anything other than doing something, you're gonna see me. You're gonna hear me. That's it."
You see, like you, Taiwan. You see how that's how y'all supposed to run as a owner slash head coach. That's how you're supposed to run your organization. You have position coaches that install whatever game plan you got for that practice. You feel me? Today ever we don't have that, bro. We don't have that. We only got select few. Well, so I'm gonna say one now. I don't know about the other teams,
Right.
but with Taiwan and the Crusaders, that's what they do. You feel me? You saying
Right.
that's what you did with the Patriots? That's love right there. That'll make any nigga want to go to practice. You feel me?
Indeed. But here's the other thing. Right. Here's the thing. As that was the football end of it, right? So again, I had my football list and then I had my program such like owner list or whatever like that. The owner part of this is, you got to give these guys incentives to come to practice. Again, I had training camp T-shirts with the training camp logo on it. I had,
Mhm.
I filmed practice, right? Accountability. Practice is filmed. So like when you told me that you needed to be a starter, I would go and show you the practice footage and be like, well, in the 10 reps that you got in this segment, you were a
Right,
bust on 8 of them.
right,
Why,
right.
why am I putting you in? And if I have to put you in, I have to take somebody else out. So who am I taking out? Give me a name. And then they would, first of all, they didn't want to out any of their men, so they didn't want to really compete like that. Some of y'all, you guys aren't ready for that conversation of, oh, cool, you
Nah,
just
let's
want more.
talk about that because I ain't gonna lie. I remember when I first came to semi-pro, bro. I had to beat out a person that was good, and I don't care about none of that, bro. I'm here to play. I pay to play. I'm here to play. That's it. I'm not trying
Yep.
to sit on no bench and none of that, nigga. Fuck that. A
Yep.
lot of these niggas don't got that mentality, bro. They like you said, cause they friends. They don't want to. Nah, fuck that, nigga. We gonna
But they
battle this
still,
shit
but
out.
here's the thing, Chop. They still want
To be on the field.
That's
There's only
that's
11
weird.
spots on the field. It's
Go
weird.
go 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 play specials.
Right. Like,
you want to be on cool. You want to be on the field. I
Go
agree.
play specials. Y'all both lined up together.
Right. I want you to,
and the funny thing is, I'll say it in front of the whole entire team. Like, hey, okay, I want you to be on the field too. You see, who am I taking off the field for you? Right? So like, and Black is just as much of a jerk at this as me. Like, Black will sit there and say, "Yo, see that guy right there? That guy right there in practice. That's not you. That's why you're not playing. He's the
Nah,
reason why you're not
that's
playing."
mean as shit. I ain't gonna lie.
right.
That's mean.
But it's a reality. Like,
It is reality though. It is
That's the thing.
reality.
Because everybody's yo, I'm real. I'm real.
Niggas'
Everybody's
expectation
real.
be bigger than what it is. You feel me?
Right.
everybody's real until
It's time to like have a real conversation. Then nobody wants to be real anymore. It's like I thought we were
Right,
supposed to be real right now.
right,
Like,
right, right.
and
You
they
gotta
just want
keep
to
it 55. Facts. Keep it real.
they want to
argue numbers. Yo, I'm the best back. Cool. We handed you the ball 5 times. 3 of the times you went the wrong way. 1 of the times you didn't even get the ball. It just went right by the quarterback. And the 3rd time you ran 2 yards straight into the ground. That was your that 5 times. That's what you did. So why am I going to give that more attention?
Word, word. Yo, Pat, what was your other topics too? I know you had 5 of them. We talked about the linebacker joint. Let's talk about the time management joint.
oh, that's okay, guys. The clock management.
Let's talk about that. You know what I don't understand? If you got a team and y'all down by 3 or 2, you know we not kicking no field goals and shit. 2 minutes is approaching. You got 3 timeouts. Why would you call a timeout before the 2 minutes?
Well,
While the
the
opposing
problem
team
usually
is,
is how many teams actually have all 3 of their timeouts right before the half or right
I'm
before the
talking
new.
about the defending team got all 3 of their timeouts before the 2 minute warning,
Mhm.
right? We down by 2. They got a good team and they pushing.
Right.
And they pushing. Why waste all your timeouts? Why waste a timeout before the 2 minute warning? That's
That's a
my
good
question to you.
that's a good question. So if I can force them to take another play before the 2-minute warning and then allow, like, let's say it's, and here's the other part, right? Going back to the officials thing. Some coaches don't even know the play clock. They don't know. Some of the coaches don't even know play clock rules, right?
Hmm.
So let's say you're at, for some leagues, it's like a 40-second running clock, right? So let's say you're 2:45 when the ball is snapped. I'm sorry, ball is snapped, and now you're going down from whatever it is down to 2:45. And
Hmm.
you know that they have to run a play before 2:40. Cool. They run the play. You call a quick timeout. They still can't kill the clock before the 2-minute warning. They have to run another play. So that's the way that you would kind of juggle it, especially let's say they're in the red zone where, let's be honest for a second, how many times have you seen a team have 1st and 10 from the 18-yard line and get a first down? They're either getting a touchdown or they're not converting.
But if you're playing against a quarterback that knows football,
Mhm.
that knows the you feel me, like that knows the rules for the play clock and shit like that.
Right.
You feel me? Because it's quarterbacks that really like that study this shit. Like for example, G Block, he
Right.
know what he had to do. You feel me? He know what he got to do. He gonna do it. You feel me? He's not looking to score. He's looking to run the clock out, win the game. You
Right.
already wasted your timeout. Now you're going into 2 minutes. You know you got 2 timeouts. You got to run it back, and your O line is doing good. Why
Right.
waste the timeouts going into the 2 or instead of holding it out and trying to stop the team who has the ball? You feel me? Because it's like
Right.
I don't know, like that shit just I don't know. That shit is weird to me, bro.
Yeah. As long to me.
There's different ways to do it. as long as you know why you're doing it, and that's what gets me is that oftentimes they don't have a plan. They don't know why they're doing it, which is how they end up with one timeout in the last, one timeout left, and there's 5 minutes left in the game, or 5 minutes left in the half, and that's why it's crazy. Like again, I saw this year a kickoff, the opening kickoff. You had all week to figure out what your first offensive play is. In fact, most teams script their first 10 plays. Some crazy folks, for some odd reason, script out their first 20 plays, right? And they don't have enough on the field. They have 10 on the field and take a timeout on the first offensive snap of the game.
That's
Like,
crazy. That's
right?
crazy.
And you're like, well, oh, like that kills me. So that means you had no plan. That means you had no practice where you were like, okay, here's the situation. We're doing, we're inside of 2 minutes. We have two timeouts. How are we going to handle this? And that's usually where you find out where your dynamic is or what works for you when it comes to clock management is in practice. Ironically, a segment of 7-on-7 that would be helpful. So when I ask, why are we doing 7-on-7? Well, we're going over clock management. Okay, cool. I'm all for it. So now we're throwing these passes, we're getting out of bounds, or we're going over the nuances. Like even a receiver that catches the ball and is running backwards when going out of bounds, and now the clock is going because of the rule
Right,
that
right,
a lot of coaches don't know that rule. So now in a game situation where coach doesn't know the rule, coach isn't even. I've seen this as well. Coach doesn't even know that the clock is running, even though the referee did this motion right here. Because the coach ain't even looking at the ref. And it's like,
yeah,
whoa, what happened? Well, the clock is running. How's the clock running? Well, you didn't see the dude do this,
right,
right?
right.
They do this. What was the signal? So that way, again, we can talk about
And they
officials.
blowing that whistle too, so you definitely got to. From me, they letting you know they blowing the whistle while doing the hand gesture shit. So
Right.
you definitely, yeah,
Right. So
Some coaches and players too, because players sit there and yell about this too, think that the whistle stops the clock. No, the
nah,
signal the signal tells you what's going on with the clock. So you can't be tough on the officials at certain times and then not hold them accountable, because some officials will just run the clock on you and they won't care. Like I've seen this before. I'm like, wait a minute, we just had there's 3 minutes left. We ran one play and now it's the 2 minute warning. That's impossible. It was not a 20-second play.
right,
Explain that to me. And then that's like, so, again, some of these guys will sit there and argue about pass interferences or judgment calls, which are hard as hell. Like holding, okay, guy, there could be holding on every play. I've never seen anybody successfully argue a holding call. But if you sit there and say that a referee is bad because at the snap of the ball, it was 3 minutes, they ran one play, and now it's the 2 minute warning. You're not arguing with me, you're arguing with math. And
right.
very effective. But you're not paying attention to those nuances and such. So yes, clock management. Oh my god, how many teams practice 2 point conversions? If you do 7-on-7, how many of you guys practice 2 point conversions and don't have a
Well,
kicker, by the way? So why wouldn't you be practicing 2 point conversions?
real shit, real shit. A lot
yep.
of teams don't be doing certain shit and expect on game days for shit to be the way they planned out. Nah, bro, you gotta be realistic.
Yeah.
Like
Black.
this highlighted it. But referees did not give me bullshit because they know I'm filming the game. They know that I chart my plays. So like Sean Kelvin just said, last game the Bandits played, they had a 2-drive third quarter. Literally, they had the ball, the other team had the ball, quarter done. And then you count up the plays and you're like, wait a minute. And I think there was one year we had a 12 play, there was 12 plays in a quarter because whoever was on the clock fell asleep, and the first quarter ended up being like an hour and a half. It was crazy.
That's crazy.
And then to try to correct themselves in the third quarter, it was like a 10 or 11 play quarter, and I'm like, that's impossible, absolutely
That's crazy.
impossible. And then when I pointed it out, and then I had the film, well, then I can. Then anytime that you have a conversation with the referees, they don't look at you like you're trash. But when you say things like, "Oh, that block was legal," and it's your guy blocking back towards the goal line, and he puts a shoulder pad into somebody's face mask, you're gonna look like an idiot.
Right. Right.
So, well,
No.
you could ask to join the live. I got no problem with it.
Another question too, right? Another topic. Who your key players coming into the Big East with the teams that was in the Big East last year?
Ooh.
So we ain't talking about no new teams that's coming in because we don't know about them yet. You feel me? We're not talking about they past accomplishments, shit like that. They coming into a new league. We're talking about the teams that was already there, established, that played in the Big East. You feel me? That's coming back. Who the key players you think is, you feel me? You people that got to watch out for, shit like that.
Gotcha. Sean Kelman just made a very good point, by the way. 95% of punt returners can't catch a punt out of the sky. 100%. Like, I catch no, you don't catch punts, you field punts. That shit is crazy. Oh my god. So okay, so players to watch for. Okay, so with the Silverbacks coming in, um, of course, the dynamic between which players are going to go from the Green Wave possibly to the Silverbacks, because you got obviously Skip coaching over there. That's an interesting dynamic.
Right.
Green Wave also had the juice because of what they did last year. So as much as the door could be open for people to leave, there could be a door for people who there's always a wave of players that are like, I wasn't messing with that when it was not proven or when it wasn't a championship product. But now, okay, y'all want a championship, I'll give it a try. So the door will swing both ways. Pause. Um, I really would like to see, without naming a new team, I'd like to see if the offensive line for the Green Wave. That's what I'm interested in. If they can
The whole
continue
unit, the whole five.
the whole unit, if
Mm,
that whole unit can stay as the best in the league, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. Off of that offensive line. Because again, when I saw a couple times, especially the left side of that line, I think at one point Weston, I think it was Weston Molly were on the same
yeah,
side. I was
facts.
like, Jesus Christ, I could have gotten a 100-yard game with that side, like just running on that side. Um, that's what I really want to see. And of course, if whatever Kevin decides, so is Kevin Green Wave this year? Is he not? That
I don't know. I don't
that
know.
so who's running behind those guys? So, and to tell you the truth, if he's not back with the
They
Green
got
Wave,
the big kid, that bowling ball. I forgot his
oh
name. That big kid, bro. But I
yeah,
don't think he's an every down back though.
that's a good question. That's a good question. So that would kind of ironically, if Kevin is not back, so if Kevin is back, I think that's kind of the headline going in. Um, damn. If he's not back, whoever replaces him, if they don't have the same output, then that kind of adds to the what Kevin did last year.
Yeah,
So you look back like, damn, some people won't give Kevin quite the credit because he was running behind a monster line. But then people point out that he had been on other teams prior that didn't have such a dominant offensive line, and he still made plays. But if whoever comes in struggles, then you got to look back like, oh, man, look. If that offensive line doesn't change and it's just the back that changes, that whoever that next back in better have that same production, I would say. I would like to see if Kingston can get back to it. I'm wondering if they're similar to the Dolphins, by the way, whether their issues in the summer end up affecting their spring product. because both of them, if they would have clipped it after the spring, I think we're having different conversations right now. Correct me if I'm wrong.
What you mean by that? Like players going to other teams and playing, or as in they
In
they they
terms of
had
their ability.
Ability to compete for the championship, I don't think you can completely. I can't get out of my mind what happened to the Dolphins after the spring and what happened with the Lions after the spring.
I don't know about the Lions, but I know the Dolphins. They getting they quarterback, like they still getting their players back, and they added addition with Coach Drew too. So you feel me?
That's
That's definitely a good look. So
So
yeah, but again, it goes back to when the teams that can do 2 seasons are few and far between.
yeah,
It is not for the weak.
I know
Because I did it for 15 years. It's not for the weak. Multiple teams during no. Yeah, you have to, and you had such a great spring season and such a bad summer season for both of them. I
but you
just
also
hope
got to
they can.
remember they didn't the Dolphins. I don't know about the Kingston, but the Dolphins didn't have a lot of their key players going to the summertime. A lot of their key players was on other teams. How you doing? Happy
Right,
New Year. So
but does that affect their spring this year?
I don't
Again,
think so because I think the Dolphins is just aiming to be a straight a spring team now, based on what's going on. You feel me?
yeah,
I think that makes sense for both the Dolphins and the Lions. I think that makes sense. Too
Mm.
much football, or just find somebody else and
The Lions just need to get if they get that
consolidate.
running back and build around that running back, meaning like get more offensive line pieces, then they'll be a
yeah.
good
Their
team.
linebacker
Level is really solid. And to
Yeah.
tell you the truth, well, here's the other thing though. Ooh, the Lions had a bunch of New England guys. Correct me if I'm
Oh
wrong.
yeah. I don't know.
I saw
I
Vermont
know they had
Storm.
that running back, the running back dude that played on the Bears.
hmm
Well, they had him. You feel me? They had a decent little. You feel me? Squad with them.
Yeah,
But when I saw their games, I saw a lot of Vermont Ravens. I saw a lot of New England gear. So my
Mm.
question would be, do they stay there or is there an NEFL one team? Because NEFL is now coming into the spring. They're basically trying to squash the ECFL. So there's going to be New England football teams. I'm not sure if in the Vermont area if there's going to be spring teams for the other league in the Vermont area that they would go to instead of going to the Lions. That would
Mm.
be that would be the big question for the Lions.
Okay. Okay.
So
Oh
that's
yeah.
pretty much it. So what else we got? Because we're gonna wrap up. Your final thoughts.
Yeah, that's about it. Well,
Nicely done.
early morning with Pat and Chop, man.
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So what do we
Yo,
what do
it's
we work? What do we need to work?
Work on for next week. I need some names of some players to watch, people that you don't ordinarily know, and then you know what? How about some announcements on who's playing where? Because to tell you the truth, that this goes to the telling people that you're the best as opposed to other people telling you that you're the best. Um,
right.
I need to see who is announceable. Like, if you want to announce like where you're playing or what have you. Um, I'm willing to sit there and go, okay, we'll give you the platform and you can tell us
No, that'll be good.
where.
Giving players, yeah, that'll be good. But they can't come up here and wild out. Like
Yeah,
they
no,
gotta really like sit there and be, talkable. You know what I mean? Having an intellectual conversation. You know what I mean? Like
indeed.
us. You feel me? Like on the
Where
field
you're
outside,
going?
I'm on some. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Where you're going,
yeah.
why are you going there? And like, yeah, we're not doing the 3 and 4 like announcements and
Nah,
stuff like that. We're
yeah.
not doing all that. So what's up, Willie? How you doing, sir?
What's up, man? How you?
We could
How
start
y'all
off with
doing?
you, Brody.
There you go, man.
So what are your thoughts today, sir?
Nah, I was just tapping in with you to see if you heard about the so we're my team's going to the Sunshine Bowl series. So I was trying to see if you had an opinion on the stuff that was released yesterday. Because I never seen the show. I just got like text messages and stuff about the matchups that we got. I guess we're
Ooh,
playing the Capital City Seahawks
Ooh.
and the Jersey Sharks got the national championship game.
I
Mm.
predicted that. My
Prediction
prediction.
came true. See, I'm sitting here and I didn't even know.
Okay, so
Now, oh, this just in. Do 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 do.
Yo, fellas, I'm out of here, y'all.
yes, sir.
Right.
All right.
All right.
So let me check out, see what Crow did, and I gotta get Crow on the show next week so he can.
That's what's up. Hell yeah.
Let's see what we got. What we got. Oh, does he have a graphic on this thing yet, or no?
I didn't even see it. I just got like a text and stuff like that. So
Ooh, okay. I see video.
I think it was like their last post. Somebody said they did like the selection show or whatever after they had the bowl.
Yeah, he did a very good job.
With this graph. Like the video on the Sunshine Bowl thing is dope. So yeah,
Yeah,
big shout out Crow for
for
the
sure,
graphics, definitely.
for sure.
Um, President's Day Bowl game. Oh, so we got the Triad Assassins versus the New York Bandits. They have that in a bowl game. Oh, shout out to the Bandits going down to Florida. Hall of Fame game, Grand Rapids Surge versus the Palmetto Hurricanes. Copy. Grand Rapids. Okay. So the 2A national game is the Cincinnati Hawks versus the UC Hornets.
Mm.
Interesting. Hawks had a very tough schedule, so they're like Midwest had a very good year, by the way, in
Yeah,
team.
sure.
Sunshine Bowl National Bowl game, Washington Golden Hawks versus the. Oh, okay. So the Windsor Flyers got into a bowl game
Mhm.
against the Washington Golden Hawks. They don't have the rankings next to their names, but the Flyers. Interesting. Okay.
My team played against that Golden Hawks team last year. It's a pretty decent squad.
Gotcha.
So now he's throwing me for a loop. It says Legacy National Championship.
Yeah,
He's calling it National Championship game, but it's not the National Championship.
right.
You're losing me on that one, Crow. There's so many names out there you could have called this, but okay. Lockport Wildcats against Capital City. Capital City. I'm not sure if it's still his team or was his team. Capital City is a
Yes.
tough. Yeah, that's a tough go at it because Capital City. I know because I lost to them with the Gators a couple years ago. They
Mhm.
travel with the Force. They definitely
Yeah,
do.
for sure.
Um, yeah, that should be a good game though. I definitely would like to see that one.
Yeah.
And two teams that okay. 2A national championship. So the Bulls versus the Chesapeake Bay Sharks. Okay, go Bulls. I'm not sure what it is. 3A national championship. Oh, Fayetteville Ducks versus the Sharks. Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody chose okay, so Fayetteville made it in. Got it. So
Mhm.
now, okay. So I guess I got my topic for next week. So now you end up with interesting. Okay. I'm intrigued now. So
That's where I'm at too with it. I wanted your opinion on. So we played the champ versus champ game against the Seminoles.
Correct.
We were ranked 4 and they were 5 at the time or whatever the case may be. So
Right.
after we lost that game against the Seminoles, I didn't think national championship was happening.
Okay.
Then once I'm cool with like people from the Seminoles, the Ducks, like I'm tapped in with a lot of people, like even the Detroit Ravens. I'm cool with the quarterback over there. So we were all having conversations of where they were playing at, where the Seminoles were playing at. Me and Skip were talking back and forth and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So there was talk that the Seminoles might be going to Orlando, and then there was talk that the Ravens were coming to Miami. So I was 100% out on the whole national championship thing, and I not thinking it at all. So then once I found out that the Ravens weren't coming to Miami and that Orlando Seminoles were taking Orlando, I was thinking like we lost a champ versus champ game, and then I was looking at the teams under us, and I was like, well, this team's 10-2, the Jersey Sharks or whatever. And then I
Right.
was like, well, it's probably gonna be like a toss up at that situation. And then like I was like looking into stuff, and it's like not to downplay anything with them at all, because
Okay.
at all. But how do you not play the number 2 team in your league at all and win the championship.
Who's the number 2 team in their league?
The number 2 team in their league is the Virginia Mustangs.
The Virginia. Okay, gotcha. So the Virginia Mustangs. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that was a game where the lights turned out, so they legitimately got bumped out of the playoffs. It doesn't show on their record.
Is that what that
But
6-6 tie is?
yes, it wasn't
Okay.
really a tie. It was their game. It was their permit. Opinion. It was their game, their permit,
Uh-huh.
from what I heard, from what I understand,
Yes.
and very tough decision. And I know Crow did a whole live about it where the man was like furious and torn up at the same
Yes.
time.
Sure.
But traditional semi-pro procedure,
Mhm.
they lost. They forfeited out of the playoffs.
Understood. That's unfortunate.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's unfortunate for the Sharks because
Again, they just played who ended up advancing. So
Yeah.
if we're talking about the lights, now if the lights had stayed on, they still could have lost because it was 6. It wasn't even like they were winning like
Mhm.
big and the lights turned off. It was like
Yeah.
both teams had a shot at winning.
Right.
So
Sure.
conceivably like 50% chance that nothing would have changed whatsoever. The other
Right.
50% is they score, they advance, and the Sharks could very well beat them. And the Sharks were pretty good over everybody else.
Yeah. I just had a hard time understanding just how you don't play the second best. There was only 3 teams with winning records in that whole league.
Yeah. It's tough across the board, and that's why the Knowles had to play you guys in order to get into the national
Mhm.
game.
Yeah.
Whereas the Bombers were like, we're going to take our. I know Menace is going to get on me for this, but that's why they were able to kind of sit on their laurels and get the game without having to play any extra football
Mhm.
whatsoever. So.
Right.
That's what happened. So what we end up with, crazy enough though, we have Ducks versus Sharks, Knowles versus Bombers, OKC versus Ravens. Now, even if so who is the national champion out of those 6 teams? Because you're going to have 3 winners.
Yeah.
However, in my opinion, 2 of them will, even in victory, will have zero right to claim to be the best in the land.
I agree. There should be
Well,
one.
Spina, what's not true? Please correct the part that's not true. Tell the only 3 winning teams in the LAL. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Spina, please correct me in the part that I'm wrong. So yeah, Fayetteville Ducks versus Jersey Sharks, Knowles versus Bombers, OKC versus Ravens. 6
Oh no.
teams.
I don't think the Ravens. Oh, who are the Ravens might be playing that team.
Ravens are playing the Oklahoma Bears.
Okay.
So those are the 3 national championship games.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So my question would be, out of all those teams, I say that 2 of those teams have zero claim to the national championship.
I agree.
Which teams are your teams that you say do not belong, even if they win?
I feel like the only team that beat a top 5 team in that is the Seminoles, right?
Interesting.
All these
I
I
think Oklahoma had a terrible schedule and
really don't have any right to be in this.
in a national championship game. Again, great team. Don't get me wrong, but not a national champion.
So I think even if Oklahoma beats the Ravens, Oklahoma is not the best in the land, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then the Sharks, even if they win, they lost head-to-head to the Knowles, and they have enough losses on their record, even losses that people don't know about, where I don't think they can claim to be the best in the land.
So that leaves
That's where
Fayetteville.
I had another problem with them getting the national championship over us because of that. There's another loss out there with something else, some technicalities. I don't know. I didn't feed
Yeah,
in.
they lost
Games in the Knowles League and then left,
And then left. And then now you're playing for a
some
national.
losses were taken off their record. Sure enough, was so. I don't think that those are my people and all, but nah. Even if you win, I don't think you're the national. You're not the best in the land.
So it's between Ducks, Knowles, Bombers, and
Ravens. So obviously it can't be the Knowles and the Bombers. It's got to be one or the other. So best case
case scenario for the Knowles, and I'll let Tony speak in a second.
Hmm.
Best case scenario for the Knowles to me is if the Sharks beat the Ducks and Oklahoma beats the Ravens. That makes
makes the Knowles the national champions, the best in the land.
Yeah.
What you got, Tony?
No, I was just saying. Good morning. I was just saying we didn't have to play that Lockport game to be where we are today. In other words, in the USFA 1 versus 2 game.
Okay,
That's
gotcha.
that's not accurate. That's all I'm saying. We elected to do it.
Mhm.
If we were going to the Sunshine Bowl, that would have been more important and more relevant
Mhm.
because Lockport was ahead of us.
Okay.
Now let me ask you this, and I don't disagree with you often, but I think I disagree with you on this. If the Knowles take care of business against the Bombers and the Ravens beat Oklahoma and the Ducks beat the Sharks, you have Ducks, Knowles, and Ravens all national champions. When we have a conversation about who's the best in the land, you don't get in front of the podium and say, we beat a Lockport team that none of y'all other two champions had to even deal with. So when it comes to the list and quality wins against teams that are ranked, that Lockport game is not the quality win that sets you apart from everybody else.
Oh, it's definitely a quality win, and look at that game.
Mhm.
That game turned on plays, particular plays.
Yeah, it definitely did.
That was a great game. It was. We were down 12-0, and Errol and G made a big time play before the half to get
Mhm.
us inside the 5, and things wound up happening in our favor from there. But
So
Definitely.
that Lockport game.
Game doesn't solidify you guys as the best in the land. That's why I'm starring that one. That's why I'm saying, because I know your standard, and I know your standard is to be the best in the land. And to me, I starred that Lockport game as the what sets you apart from everybody else. That, and you have wins over the Sharks, who are very highly ranked. What other highly ranked teams that you have wins? Oh, the Bears. The Bears are up there too. So you have more ranks against top 20 opponents than the other two champs.
yeah,
You
we're,
win in
we're, we're
Orlando,
gonna
that's two over top five teams. They got my nod as the national champs. They beat us when we were at 4, and then if they beat the who was it, the Bombers? What are they ranked? One on some people's, 2 on other people's. Like that's
Yep.
2 top 5 wins. They got to be the national champions.
yeah we have
Just I don't know how you can argue it.
This New England Bombers team is a good team. It's a quality team. They're ranked number 1 in the USFA. I know there's different things going on. You got the Detroit Ravens ranked number 1 in whatever you call that, the bowl that doesn't recognize us. Because I'm only going to say that they don't recognize us because we finish our season after August 31st. They only recognize teams. I think that's the USA, where the Detroit
Okay.
Ravens are. They only recognize teams that finish their championship prior to August 31st. That's going to change next year. There's a lot of, I'm not going to say a lot, but there have been conversations. I know myself personally got in touch with the Detroit Ravens, and we've been talking in detail about the organizations, and I know I speak with the Lockport organization,
Mhm.
the owner over there, that we're going to have more conversations and try and take a little bit more control of what's going on, because when you have these three different places to go, maybe we need to control that a little bit more, the matchups,
Yep.
instead of the powers that be. I mean, there's different things going on. The USFA has always had quality games. I mean, especially the Northeast people going there, the Marlboro Shamrocks through the years, the New York Predators, the Seminoles, the uh, uh, I'm not leaving nobody out. The Brooklyn Mariners,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So the USFA has been quality. What's his name? Crow takes it to another level. Like Crow is the social media part of it, which is what the players like. You know what I mean? Is the Sunshine Bowl is a good thing too. So I'm not downplaying any of the bowls, but the Seminoles' decision was we could have been in either game, obviously, at this point. And Pat, you and I had this conversation 3 weeks
Straight up
ago.
did.
Yep. The Seminoles' decision was to play the what we feel is the best possible team that was in front of us and not behind us. So the New England Bombers are number one in the USFA, and I'm going to say rightfully so at this point. And we're number two, and that's the game we're after.
Nice. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to ask you a series of 3 very, very tough questions, and you are more than welcome to plead the fifth. I have no problem with it. So, yeah, it's like people say that I'm way too easy on you. So I got to show them otherwise.
Yeah, that's your people. That's your people.
So
Your people.
my first question is: if the Knowles win and the Ravens win, who's number 1?
You tell me. That's my
Oh,
answer.
that's pleading the fifth. Okay. Question number
Tell
2.
me.
I told you based on that Lockport game, I have Knowles at number 1.
Okay, so
I
so
agree.
I'm that I can't. That's what's so hard about this. I want to see the Detroit Ravens on the field. So I know that's hard to do. I know we had the conversations to try and make it happen, even this year. You know, the Ravens and myself. We tried to make things happen, but it's not going to happen this year. We're going to take more charge of it in the future.
I like
But
that.
I do respect that Ravens football team. I respect all the teams that are consistently top 5. You know what I mean? I respect all of them. I'm not like a few of my players because you know my organization as a whole does have respect for other teams. We do have some individuals that speak differently, but yeah, I want to see that game on the field, and I think the Ravens do too at this point.
For sure.
Hey,
And
okay.
it's going to be for everyone else to say, but we're playing in a national championship game. Our organization, it's for the 8th time in the last decade since 2013 season, so 12 years. This is the 8th time.
Awesome. Okay. The next question, which again you can absolutely plead the fifth for, would be: did the Ravens take the easy way out by playing Oklahoma?
So I'm not going to say that because I listen to you obviously all the time, and you seem to know more about Oklahoma than I do. That's for sure. But I sat in the stands when we played the Natty game in 2021. I sat in the stands because we had the 7 o'clock game, and the Ravens played Oklahoma in the 4 o'clock game, and Oklahoma won that game 3 touchdowns to 1. I can't tell you the exact score, but so that's like a get back game, so to speak. The Ravens do have a relationship with the USA, as the Seminoles have a relationship with the USFA and the Sunshine Bowl. So I don't even know these people in the USA, and again, they haven't acknowledged us. They haven't done anything, but they have acknowledged the Ravens. So the Ravens have their thing going on over there. Whatever's not surfacing, that's where they go.
Okay.
And my last Willie, do you think these are tough questions? Am I throwing softballs at this thing, or these tough
Ah,
questions?
I think they're fair questions. They're
Are
good
they
questions.
tough? Are
Very.
they tough questions? I want to be a softie with. I got a reputation to hold.
Now you got to
Uh,
answer to your
no,
people.
that was a good question. That
Uh,
number 2 was a very good, very tough question.
So my last question: did the
Sunshine Bowl get it right? Sharks and Ducks. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
That's a tough one, and I am definitely taking the fifth on that.
Woo! Nicely done. I got it.
I am
Patterson wins.
definitely. Kudos to the Sharks for being there and making a season out of what started the way it started for them. Will's my guy over there, Coach Lou, and they're in a game that the Sunshine Bowl is acknowledging as the Natty game.
Nicely done.
All right, gentlemen. Any last words before we get on to enjoy our last NFL regular season? As we know, if you're a Jets fan and you're a Giants fan, this is always the end of your particular seasons, which make being fans of those teams very predictable, and you don't have to worry about stuff like playoffs like us Eagles fans have to do. Any last words, Coach?
No, that's it. I'm just going to keep going with all the stuff that's going on in the Bleezy page. Who's better than who, and who picks up who's play, and all of that stuff. What Brooklyn is going to keep doing, the Seminoles, meaning when I say Brooklyn, because I know there's a couple of teams, is keep trying to keep this train rolling, keep getting the best games possible, because that's what I offer the players, to getting into these big games. And that's why I took the Lockport game. People talk about upstate versus downstate and stuff like that. And we know there's some good football up there. Well, I know it.
Yeah, I'm glad we did it. I'm glad we did it.
Got to witness it. So, but we're going to keep moving forward and keep trying to get on the stage and playing people outside of the tri-state area.
Beautiful. Willie, what you got? Last words?
Good luck to Brooklyn. Go down and handle business. Bring it back, and that's it, man.
Respect.
We'll do what we got to do in our game. That's it, man.
Represent for New York. I'll be rooting for both you guys. Have a wonderful day, you guys.
Too, man.
All right, thanks, pal.
Later.
All right. So that was. Let me make sure if I have this. Okay, cool. So thank you for spending some time with us today. Man, it definitely went a lot longer than what I thought we would. Look at that, off-season vibes being pretty solid. So we got a lot done today. Again, I have my list, my wish list for 2026 for those of you that tuned in late. I have my list, my football list of wish list for 2026. Number 5 was better linebacker play, because linebacker play in this generation has been lacking. Number 4, special teams and actual planning of special teams. Number 3, coaches at the podium explaining decisions, and part of that being making sure that you guys are at Glazier clinics or whatever clinics help you improve your craft and make your products on the field better than what they are. Because, when you talk about generation to generation, if you have the benefit of the prior generation coaching, being at a certain level and limited resources, where we had to drive all over the place to go see these clinics, and you can get them online, and they even have Zoom Glazier clinics now. You should be getting your X's and O's game tightened up a bit. Number 2, clock management, which my man spoke on it very well, by the way. And number 1, highlights that are legal, like knowing the rules and not posting crackback blocks and such. And as far as programs go, wish list for programs: dubs on subs, no subbing people. Let's say their names. Number 4 is uniforms. Don't pretend as though your uniform guy messed up. You just didn't pay. Number 3, notice, including game flyers a week in advance, so we know where the games are and when the games are. Creativity, mic up your best personalities, introduce us to players that we don't know, get us some new creativity in this thing, something that we haven't seen before. Number 1, no optional football. Continue the trend of playing who is on your schedule. Again, go Birds. If you're a Jets or a Giants fan, enjoy college football this year and next year, because that's your only hope. You might as well start scouting out who's going to be on your team next, because you're always playing for draft picks. For another episode of Way Too Early with Pat, David Patterson signing off.